Keith Murray. The first time I heard Keith Murray was on Hostile by Eric Sermon, of course. Remember that song? Sorry. You're quite hostile.
Yeah.
Keith Murray.
That Eric Sermon solo album?
Yes, of course it was. My favorite song on there.
Pressure, Eric Sermon solo.
My favorite song on there. Besides that and Stay Real. Come on, you know that.
First time you heard me?
I think so.
Well, were you
down
on
in Maryland?
before that?
Yeah, were you something before that?
Actually, it was a song with me, Redman, and Eric before that on Eric's album.
On the same album?
You mean like in the track listing it was before that?
It was like track 4.
Yeah.
But Hostile's the one people still come up to you and sing that verse. It just happened, right?
That was the one.
That was the verse.
Video with the single with Eric Sermon, the solo record. It was me and Redman on the record first.
Right.
Then me and Eric did a record. And that was the video.
How did you get to meet Eric Sermon? How did that relationship begin?
Well, I'm from Central Islip, Long Island, Roosevelt, Long Island, by way Crown Heights, Long Island. I mean Brooklyn.
You're from both? You're from CI
I'm from
and Roosevelt,
Long Island, Central Islip, Long Island, and Crown Heights, Brooklyn. So I moved from Roosevelt to CI. Eric lived in Brentwood, and K Solo lived in CI. And my homeboy Wink was his cousins with Eric Sermon, and we used to talk about E and what they was doing. And Solo was coming up. We was in high school. He used to come to the high school, battle people and things of that nature, come to the block. So Eric's mother moved to Central Islip. So I had asked Solo to take me to introduce me to Eric Sermon. I met him along over there where Eric lived. He took me to K Solo, Eric's house, and then boom.
And there we go. So were you already around when EPMD was starting to get moving? Like when EPMD was moving, were you already hanging with Eric Sermon?
No, not at all. I came around the time EPMD started to break up.
Okay. So did you instantaneously know after Hostile, like was a deal already in place? Did Eric tell you the way things were going to go? What was the process from that record?
Actually, I had met Eric through Solo, and I was with Eric like 2 years before I even got on the microphone. I was to go to his house when he was doing EPMD, going on tour. I would come from my neighborhood to where his mother lived, do music, then we'll leave, go to my life, and he would go EPMD. I would follow the tour bus sometimes and things of that nature. Then eventually EPMD had got into their situation. Eric was doing his solo project, so he was looking to expand his brand. Then he put Keith Murray behind the microphone. Eventually, after he became, okay, I'm going to record you now.
Wait, what were you doing before recording? Just being around the studio and stuff?
I was going to college in New York.
No, but I'm saying around EPMD and Eric, you was just...
He would go do EPMD, go on road. When he come home, I would call him. He would call me, and I would go to his house. And then
record?
We would
or just build?
Just talk about music? And
mesh.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Now, the whole time, did he know that you were an MC? Was this a plan?
I went there, knocked on the door, and
like, yo.
He came down, he was doing beats, I spit rhymes. I went there for that reason. K Solo, I asked Solo to take me to him.
But then he let it take its time and kind of just go naturally.
Was he giving you advice and stuff?
He was doing EPMD, and then he was like figuring, like we was becoming friends. Like we would go in the studio, listen to music. I would say rhymes and stuff, and he was getting to know me.
Gotcha.
So
know your style.
Yeah, because everything is about, Def Squad is about really feeling.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So when the time is right, things happen like that.
What were you doing in your life when you weren't with Eric at that time?
That time I was probably like 18, 19. I was going to college.
What college?
First year of Suffolk Community College.
Ah, boo.
Then I was
Nassau for life,
Nassau
baby.
all day.
But I was selling hand-in-hand drugs. Selling weight and drugs and living the street life, but living with my grandmother, go to college.
Nice.
After that was a point I came out of the penitentiary from high school. Got expelled from high school. Summertime, went to, penitentiary, got my GED, talked to E on the phone, came out, was going to school doing that, and then the semester ended. The EPMD thing broke up. Eric went to Atlanta. I still was selling drugs. Then I went to New York Tech. And Eric came back, and then I got back with him, and then we did Hostile, and then he did the No Pressure album, and that's how it started with the video like that, with the single.
Right.
Because Eric would go on shows and come back, and I would see him, Then eventually the song was heating up, and he would be like, "Yo, Murray, I gotta forget you becoming a star. I gotta remember who you are. I'm gonna start taking you out on the road with me and stuff." Then he took me to a show in D.C. First show we did, I came out. It was a big show. Niggas went crazy, pandemonium, and they shut the show down. Word to mother.
Wow.
It's crazy.
When you came out for your verse.
Came out, Keith Murray, come up, niggas, riot, show. And yo, we ran out the side door, went back to Long Island. It was crazy. Word. Nobody don't really know that story. E would tell you that.
The most beautifulest thing in this world, Syph.
Yes.
The single. Let's talk about the single.
Single.
The single was a big deal.
Very muted. Isley Brothers.
Very muted.
Very muted underneath.
Yes.
Very Eric Sermon style.
Very Eric Sermon
sample
style.
that a lot of people use, but muted down low.
Yes. And
In between the sheets.
it was In Between the Sheets, the classic. Of course, the same sample as Big Papa, many other things, but it sounds totally different.
That song is actually this one of them days, Monica.
It's also that.
One of them
Yeah.
And then the Raekwon Incarcerated Scarface.
Drums.
Around that era, those was the same songs.
Yeah.
Jermaine Dupri and the RZA.
Yeah, but and it has the
the Isley Brothers,
real
the
low.
Juicy with the Biggie with the Puffy, because they was all around that era.
Did you know when you recorded that song that it was a hit?
No, actually, we was in that line was a line that I did from the record single that I did with Eric Hostile.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The most beautiful thing in this world is my notion for murderous poetry and motion.
Awesome.
And the idiotic shit I come across when releasing trapped air with explosive force. So, you know, my flow is melodic. So Eric took that hook and he said, Murray, go in the booth and stay in this part. The most beautiful thing in this world, but I was like, yo, E, it's just like that. He stopped it. Talking to Mike.
Yeah.
See, when you sitting down with Ebro and them, y'all have the mics. It's more,
First of all, we just talked to Ebro. You're actually about to go sit with Ebro after this.
All
So
right,
I just figured to get it done in one day.
All right, cool. So what happened was he said, sing that part. I was like, yo, I can't sing it. We was in the studio for like an hour going back and forth like, E, is not making sense to me. He was like, just do it. Then he chopped it, put it together. I left, came back, and he made the song. We had an argument about
That's
that.
crazy.
About the actual sing. That's funny. Yo, and then it worked out. That singing part is part of the charm of the song. That's what, and actually that's a style.
I didn't say I
singing
couldn't
part, the hook?
sing it. I couldn't say it the way he wanted me to because I said it in the line. Then he wanted me to repeat it and say just like that after it.
Oh, that record blows the fuck up. Syph, how big would you describe Most Beautifulest in New York?
Yeah, huge.
It was a smidash.
Huge smidash.
Smidash.
Grace of God.
Did it change your life? Was that the record that changed your life? Was that the moment?
Absolutely. Coming from a kid on the streets, going to college, having a hit top 10 record
the remix.
that everybody knew. Yeah, it started my phase of growing up in public.
Remix.
You listen to the remix, Syph? You a remix guy?
The remix was big
No,
on the underground.
that was the original record.
Oh.
The remix came out first. That was the original record.
Oh, really?
And then Eric went and remixed it and they put the Isley Brothers out because it was more commercially friendly.
Eric's a smart guy.
This was
Very
the
interesting.
This is like the Stretch Armstrong.
Yeah,
version,
yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Woo, it's kind of meaner than I remember. The
Same.
remix.
That's interesting though you did that because that was the original.
That was original.